While on guard duty, this man suddenly spat at the feet of a North Korean soldier, yet in response to this provocation, the North Korean soldier merely smiled and spat back. Seeing this, Lee Byung-hun spat at him again, then mocked him afterward. The two stood their ground, unwilling to back down. How could soldiers from opposing sides be so amicable? Trouble arose the very next day. This time, the sentry across the border was a veteran. Lee Byung-hyun's shadow crossed the demarcation line, prompting a warning from the opposing guard. Faced with the warning, Lee Byung-hyun had no choice but to retreat. Little did they know that these two men, once enemies, would later become brothers. That night, Lee Byung-hyun's company was conducting a patrol mission, but due to a lack of signal, they accidentally stepped into North Korean territory. Realizing something was amiss, the company commander led his men to a swift retreat. If discovered by the other side, it could easily spark a war. They forgot about Lee Byung-hyun. After using the restroom, he was preparing to rejoin the group when he suddenly felt like he'd stepped on something. Looking closely, he realized it was a landmine. He quietly called out to the squad leader, but his comrades had already retreated. He then tried calling over the radio, but there was no signal. After an unknown amount of time, a sound came from the grass. Lee Byung-hun raised his rifle warily. It turned out to be just a puppy. The moment he lowered his weapon, a figure approached from across the border, a North Korean soldier. Their eyes locked. After a moment of silence, both men raised their weapons, but the North Korean soldier was a split second slower. He could only raise his hands and surrender. Lee Byung-hun seized the initiative. Behind him, an old North Korean soldier appeared. Unable to divert his attention, Lee Byung-hun only realized what was happening when the soldier locked his arm around his neck. The veteran disarmed him, throwing his rifle to the opposing soldier. Lee Byung-hun claimed he'd stepped on a landmine. The veteran looked down and confirmed it was real. He then released his grip. Watching the two walk away, Lee Byung-hun felt bitter resentment. This might have been his only chance. He urgently pleaded for their help, tears welling in his eyes. Unable to bear his distress, the two soldiers intervened. Under the veteran's guidance, the mine was successfully disarmed. He even gave Lee Byung-hun as a keepsake for Lee Byung-hyun. Lee Byung-hyun expressed his sincere gratitude. During the next day's patrol, soldiers from both nations happened to cross paths. Both sides drew their weapons, expecting a confrontation, but in the next instant, the commanders on both sides holstered their guns. The man across the line was yesterday's veteran. He offered a cigarette to the South Korean commander, who reciprocated with one of his own. In truth, neither side truly wanted war. Daily patrols were merely routine duties. Then the veteran spotted Lee Byung-hyun, and Lee Byung-hyun looked back at him. Their bond gradually grew stronger. They often crossed paths while on sentry duty. Lieutenant Oh, the veteran, frequently teased him, and Lee Byung-hyun playfully joined in. He never forgot the life-saving favor. He secretly wrote a thank you letter and tossed it toward the other side of the bridge. Through their ongoing correspondence, they came to understand each other, even exchanging gifts. One night while on guard duty, Lee Byung-hyun slipped out after his comrades fell asleep. Then, violating regulations, he crossed the security line and entered the enemy's guard post. Little did he know that this single act would plunge them into disaster.